So this is Tanya with Fun Speech Journeys, and I am here at the Autism Speaks Conference and was so inspired by a story on stage. So with that, I'm going to turn it over and let him introduce himself. But we've got a country music star here, and I'd love to hear your story and your journey with autism.
All right. My name is Elliott. I was born 8 weeks premature, diagnosed with cerebral palsy, and then later diagnosed with autism. Doctors told my mother I'd never walk, talk, sing, play guitar, graduate high school, graduate college. And my mother never told me anything the doctor said. She just always encouraged me to do what I wanted to do, which was sing and play guitar. At the age of about 4 years old, her father, my pawpaw, who we recently just passed away, introduced me to the music of Johnny Cash and traditional country music. And because of my autism, I fixated on Johnny Cash and studied his life. And then that grew to traditional country music, and that's just always been a passion of mine. In 2014, I graduated from Norman North High School in Norman, Oklahoma, and that fall I enrolled in the University of Central Oklahoma. They have a music program called the Academy of Contemporary Music, and I enrolled there, and in 2016 graduated with an associate's degree in vocal performance, and then in 2019 graduated with a bachelor's degree in applied technologies. And a couple years ago I had the opportunity to record an album, and I moved out to Nashville and recorded an album, and tried my luck out at country radio, and I had some good success with it. But now I'm back home and just playing locally and still writing and enjoying what I do.
I love that you said you unlocked your superpower.
Yes, I use my autism not as a disability, as a superpower. It's a superpower. I know over 600 songs without looking at the music sheets or the lyrics.
That's amazing. Mom and Dad, Debra and David, correct?
Correct.
Debra and David, when did you know that he was something special? I'll start with you, Debra.
Well, he became a member of this little music organizational group in Oklahoma City called the Country Music Singers Association, and he qualified to go to the national competition in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And we were driving out there, long drive, and he's practicing his song in the back seat that he thinks he's going to sing on stage in front of hundreds of people. And David and I kept going, is that really the song you want to sing? Are you sure you want to sing that? Because he just wasn't hitting it like he could several other songs. He goes, nope, that's what I'm going to do. We stopped for gas along the way, and I called my dad and said, Dad, you got to talk to him. You got to tell him he can't sing this song for a competition. He's going to be embarrassed when he sees the video. And he said, Debbie, you got to trust him. I was like, okay, I will. We get there, Cutter comes out on stage, they introduce him, big stage, lights come on, he opens his mouth, David and I were sinking in our chairs, and all of a sudden he starts singing, and we just looked at each other. Something about being on stage and in that song that he had in his body that he felt, it came out like better than the original artist. And we just looked at each other and we were like, wow. And we just knew right then that he excels in that setting. That's what he feels like he can do. And so we just kept promoting that the whole time he was growing up, and got him guitar lessons and more voice lessons. And
that's awesome.
So
now, David, I got to ask you, at what point did you say, okay, like, how do I continue to fuel his passion?
We just kept rolling with it. I mean, because he just showed, as he says, his superpower. It was amazing. He would almost take on the persona of Johnny Cash when he performed. He had all the mannerisms down, and he strummed the guitar like him, and we just rolled with that. And I kept kind of drive me crazy because you watch all those singing, reality shows, American Idol, this, that, and they kept talking about, you need to make it your own. You got to make it your own. So I would preach that to him all the time, and so to try to get him to do less Johnny Cash and more Cutter in his performances, and it just kind of evolved over time, and it's taken a long time for him to get there, but he finally got there, and it kind of transitioned a little bit, so he's a lot more of himself now. He still has a little bit, you can still tell when he does some songs. He's got those Johnny Cash movements in there with George Strait.
That's cool.
Which was, that was another thing, is trying to get him to branch out into newer music. He was so fixated on Johnny that there had to be some sort of a connection with whatever else he was going to do to get him to branch out for new music. There had to be some kind of connection back to Johnny Cash.
Let me ask you, this is going to be an impossible question. What's your favorite Johnny Cash song?
Don't Take Your Guns to Town.
Don't Take Your Guns.
That's my favorite Johnny Cash song because when I was a little boy, and then when my mother was a little girl, my pawpaw, her dad, would sing that to both of us when we were kids to go to sleep.
Ah, that's beautiful.
So that's the one that's nearest and dearest to my heart.
Do you have a message for your parents?
Just thank you for encouraging me, and appreciate the love and support.
Do you guys have a message for all the other parents out here that are navigating autism with their kids?
Well, I just think, like Cutter says, it could have been soccer that he was passionate about. It could have been mechanical things on cars, anything. Once you find what your child is passionate about and wants to do, like he played t-ball, baseball. He was okay with it. It wasn't his thing.
Yeah.
But he tried it. We kept trying everything, and we tried soccer, and we tried basketball, and it just wasn't it. But it all came back to music, and so we were like, okay, that's it. And that's, you've got to find their passion, because everybody is passionate about something.
Yeah, that's awesome. Dad?
Just take it one step at a time, because it's not something that happens overnight. I mean, it's a constant process that you have to continually just work through.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for doing this. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure.